now on CBC Vancouver News.
I think all of us know that if John were here today, he would not have allowed us to name the dam or anything after him.
He railed against it, then approved its completion. The Site C Dam will now be named after John Horgan. Plus,
we're very pleased that we were successful in our application to leave, which means that we get a hearing at the highest court of Canada.
the Supreme Court of Canada will hear a BC challenge over mineral rights and DRIPA.
Now we have to wait 2 or 3 years.
This cloud of uncertainty that is DRIPA, continues to hang over our sector.
And
these images and videos were taken in public spaces, including but not limited to retail spaces, beaches.
a Vancouver Island man pleads guilty in what police call the most prolific case of voyeurism ever prosecuted in the country.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. He was one of its most vocal opponents, but once in power, he allowed it to be built. And now the Site C Dam in northeastern BC will bear the name John Horgan. As Matt Preprost reports, it reflects the late Premier's complicated history with the mega project.
British Columbia gets big things done.
Premier David Eby touting the completion and final milestone of the Site C Dam on the Peace River, now renamed the John Horgan Dam and Generating Station.
It would be completely disingenuous to stand here and pretend that John supported this project.
As opposition NDP leader, Horgan was one of the dam's fiercest opponents, criticizing the BC Liberal government of the day over its high cost, environmental footprint, and impact on farmers and First Nations. But after becoming Premier in 2017, he gave his reluctant approval to complete the project, saying the long-term need for power outweighed the costs of cancellation.
He asked the Utilities Commission for their opinion. He asked Cabinet and caucus colleagues for their unvarnished opinions about how to move forward. Experts were brought in. The naming reflects the nuance and the challenge of decisions that confronted John in his time and is emblematic of his integrity and his willingness to move forward in the best interests of British Columbians.
The massive new reservoir created behind the dam is being named Nache Mege, chosen by local First Nations.
It means Dreamer Lake, and we'll be engaging in a ceremony in the north with First Nations about that naming at a future date.
Here in the Peace River Valley, Thursday's announcement met with a sigh and a shrug.
This building we call the Site C Sucks Museum.
The reservoir behind the dam swallowed up thousands of hectares of wildlife habitat and farmland, including that owned by Ken and Arlene Boone.
There's the famous photograph of John Horgan standing with Arlene and I with the sign Site C Sucks. Probably a little ironic that now that dam is being named after him. Yeah.
Archives and memorabilia from a half-century of protests against the project preserved here and put on display for the public. Back at the dam site, work continues to move out the work camp and build an Indigenous cultural centre. BC Hydro says it's monitoring conditions along the reservoir as it prepares to open boat launches and public access this summer. Matt Preprost, CBC News, Fort St. John.
A key BC court case that has sparked the Premier's attempt to overhaul the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act, or DRIPA, is heading to Canada's highest court. Katie DeRosa has that story.
It's known as the Gigatla decision. In December, the BC Court of Appeal ruled that DRIPA, which requires free, prior and informed consent from First Nations impacted by resource projects, has legal force and effect over all BC laws. The province appealed to the Supreme Court of Canada, which says it will hear the case.
We've been pretty clear that we disagree with aspects of the decision, and in granting leave, we hope that we can make those arguments.
The federal opposition leader argues the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples creates a bad legal framework.
These bills that Liberals and NDP governments have passed are now bringing serious risk to our economy and to our people, and it's time to reverse course.
Premier David Eby has argued the court case opens up all BC's laws to legal challenge, which is why he tried to amend DRIPA. That plan is now on pause following backlash from First Nations leaders and within the NDP caucus. Still, Eby says he can make changes to DRIPA before the High Court rules.
That is not necessarily the only way that we could get to clarity and finality on this and being able to move forward together and address those outstanding questions that the Court of Appeal raised.
He says the government will consult on legislative changes over the summer. The Gigantla elected and hereditary leadership says it's not surprised the case is being heard, saying in a statement, while we would have preferred that BC respect the BC Court of Appeal decision, we agree that the court raises novel issues of national importance. Both First Nations leaders and the mining industry say it could take years for the courts to provide clarity.
It does create a little bit of uncertainty because now we have to wait 2 or 3 years.
This cloud of uncertainty that is DRIPA, continues to hang over our sector.
The Supreme Court of Canada is expected to hear the case next spring. Katie DeRosa, CBC News, Victoria.
A Vancouver Island man has pleaded guilty in what police are calling the most prolific case of voyeurism ever prosecuted in Canada. Officers say they have identified hundreds of women and girls as victims. The CBC's Jonna Bailon is in Victoria with more. Jonna, who is this man and what has he pleaded guilty to?
Dan, so this man is 39-year-old Yin Young Derek Chan of Saanich. He has pleaded to various voyeurism-related offenses. And you mentioned earlier it's been described as one of the probably the most prolific case. And just to give you a sense of the scale, police say they have identified 652 victims, all women and girls, in the materials that Chan has posted online. Now, this case goes back 2 years at least, when a detective was made aware of images and videos being posted online. Police wouldn't disclose where, but they describe it as a popular image-based social media app. And those posts were coming from the Saanich area. Their investigation led them to Chan, who was previously convicted of voyeurism in a case involving filming a woman in a changing room at a Victoria area mall. Now, Chan was arrested in April 2024. He was released with conditions at that time, and when police executed a search warrant, they found devices in his home containing thousands of photos, videos of victims. Chan was arrested again in early 2025. Last October, he pleaded guilty to the offenses, and this morning he was sentenced to about 4.5 years in custody with credit to time served. That means he'll be in custody for about 2.5 years. Dan?
And what do we know about the victims, Jonna?
Dan, we know there are 652 of them that have been identified. We know that they included women and girls, some under the age of 18. I spoke with Saanich Police Department, who described, the locations and areas that Chan had filmed and taken photos of. Here's what he had to say.
These images and videos were taken in public spaces, including but not limited to retail spaces, beaches, general public spaces in the Greater Victoria area, and some of them near private settings.
They've notified 40 victims, and they're encouraging anyone who believe they may have been victim to this case to come forward. Dan?
Jonna Bailon in Victoria, thanks very much. A fire has destroyed a 70-year-old bowling alley and terrace. It began early in the morning. We get more now from Catherine Garrett.
I'm here outside of what remains of the historic bowling alley and terrace. A fire destroyed the building being leased by the Terrace Bowling Center, which has been standing since 1956. It was slated for demolition in 2020, but ended up being saved by a grassroots campaign and was still in use up until today. According to ownership, the flames broke out at about 4:30 this morning. Teresa Moffat was woken by a phone call from her security company warning a smoke detector had gone off and there was movement inside the building. She says she's not sure how the community will recover following the loss of the building.
I don't see how. I just, bowling we always think of bowling as a dying sport. We were going quite well here. Our leagues were pretty full.
Moffett took over the business 6 years ago and had 5 years left on the lease. They were leasing it from the city after community backlash saved it from demolition. She has 2 bowlers going to nationals in 2 weeks, so the day will be spent salvaging.
We've managed to scavenge 1 set of bowling balls and shoes out, and hopefully we can get the second one in the lockers. I've got another 10 seniors that are going to the senior games in September, so we're going to see if we can get a hold of them.
For 2 daughters of the former owners, seeing their parents' dream end in ashes is devastating.
We watched the sign go down that we put up 3 times over because my mom wanted that sign.
The bowling family is your family. So it's not only family, it's family adopting family. And we've just come up here for a weekend camping with a group of friends that are from the bowling center that we all grew up together and aged together.
The fire department says the official cause has yet to be determined. RCMP and the fire department are both investigating. And as for the building, it has been deemed structurally unsafe and has largely been torn down. Catherine Garrett, CBC News, Terrace.
2 people have died in 2 separate drownings in Nanaimo. Police say officers responded to a call for a wellness check at Departure Bay Beach just before 6 p.m. Wednesday. Around 9 p.m., a woman was found but pronounced dead. Police say they do not suspect foul play in her death. While officers were searching for that woman, another call came in around 7:30 of a man who looked to be in distress while swimming in a boat ramp. But crews were able to pull him from the water, but he couldn't be resuscitated. Darius Madabi here for a first look at the weather. What's going on out there?
Well, we have some storms crossing the central interior, so let's zoom in here. This is really just west of 100 Mile House. We're seeing a little bit of lightning activity. We'll be watching that as it tracks across the province, but otherwise things are relatively calm. A few showers popping up in some parts of the south as that just a little disturbance crosses. But other than that, things are generally sunny across most of BC. Pretty dry, including here on the south coast. A little bit of cloud coming in and out for some of the more coastal parts of the island in the north and the south, north and the west. But it's not really until the end of the weekend, so Sunday evening, that we're going to start to see that rain really move in. For the North Island and west coast of the island, could be a little bit earlier, could be as early as the afternoon. Probably not the morning, but not out of the question. But for the lower mainland, I wouldn't expect to see it any earlier than Sunday night.
Okay. Darius, thanks very much.
Thank you.
A Surrey family has begun a 120-kilometre walk from Vancouver's Canada Place to the BC legislature in Victoria. As Jessica Chung explains, they want to raise awareness for their 3-year-old son's rare disease.
Just about a dozen family, friends, and community members were here at Canada Place starting on their walk. They're embarking, as you said, to the BC legislature in Victoria. It's going to take them 5 days. And yes, it's all to raise awareness and funds for a 3-year-old boy. So his name is Gormo. He is battling spastic paraplegia 4, which is a rare progressive neurodegenerative disease that will eventually take away his ability to walk, stand, sit, and also a lot of his cognitive ability as well. Now, there is a possible treatment here. A team of genetic scientists at McGill University have developed a special gene therapy that could give Gormo a normal life, but it comes at a really high price, around $8 million. So Gormo's parents, Stalin and Navpreet Gill, have been trying to raise these funds. They say that the immediate funds needed to get this kind of new gene therapy off the ground is around $2.7 million. They've raised now around $2 million, and this walk is kind of that last push to the last part of that funding. Now, you know, it's been a tough road for this family. Gormo's dad, Stalin, spoke about the struggles that they've been going through. He got emotional talking about it as well. And take a listen to more of what he had to say.
The doctors are ready, if the science is ready, if the university is ready to do this, they should give them the money they need. You know, why should parents be suffering?
Well, they have reached out to all levels of government, everyone that they can think of, and it's really to little or to no avail. But they've been in touch with the federal government, and they said that, you know, there are maybe some rare disease programs that would pay for, say, clinical trials of this new gene therapy, but that would be just around $3 million. And even before we get to that, the family would have to raise the rest of the funds. So that's around $5 million. So, you know, of course, they're frustrated, and they're putting on this walk to kind of raise that awareness, because they say that they've heard from other families that are in similar situations. So really, this walk is not only for their son, but other people who are in the same kind of struggle and families that are struggling just as they are.
Well, Congo and Uganda battle a deadly Ebola outbreak. A flight has been diverted to Montreal from the U.S. because a Congolese national was on board. We'll tell you more about the virus next. Officials in Uganda aren't taking any chances with the Ebola outbreak in nearby Congo. They're suspending flights and ferries and tightening border controls to help contain the spread. And they're not alone. Other countries, including the U.S., are also ramping up travel restrictions. Washington's new rules leading to a surprise landing in Montreal. More now from Chien Desjardins.
An international flight bound for Detroit diverted to Montreal, to one of Canada's busiest airports, on board a citizen of Congo, where a deadly Ebola outbreak is worsening rapidly.
Suddenly, all the flight attendants had face masks on, so that was also very concerning when, they suddenly tell us that we are being diverted and they won't give you a reason.
New U.S. rules bar entry to non-U.S. passport holders who have been to Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the past 21 days. The U.S. Secretary of State defending that decision.
Our number one priority will always be making sure it doesn't come to the United States. That's our number one obligation.
Health officials say the passenger was assessed, found to be asymptomatic, and flew back to Paris. An Ontario resident, however, is being tested after traveling to East Africa.
What we know is that border closures don't really work.
Canada has not introduced travel restrictions, but this outbreak comes at the start of a busy travel season. Still, experts stress the risk of Ebola transmission here is low.
It's not 0%. The longer this goes on for and the larger the outbreak gets, then the higher the probability is that someone's going to travel with this infection.
But if that happens,
is there going to be like a widespread outbreak of this in Canada? Like, no, of course not. No, we're not going to have that.
this doctor, who worked with Ebola patients in 2014, says there are protocols countries can put in place.
I think Canada should screen people who are arriving from affected regions to see if they have symptoms, to see if they were exposed in any way.
All agree the outbreak will likely get worse before it gets better. For those planning to travel, the advice, good hygiene, and educate yourself before you go. Chien Desjardins, CBC News, Toronto.
When communities at the heart of this crisis, intense grief is mixing with frustration as the desire of some to bury those they've lost collides with rules meant to prevent more death. Lauren Pelly explains.
Charred tents are all that's left of this Ebola treatment center in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the result of a clash between authorities trying to stamp out the outbreak and the loved ones of someone who died, who wanted to take the body home for a funeral. Police say a young local didn't grasp the reality of this disease, while authorities were clear all bodies must be cremated to prevent more transmission. Suspected deaths have now hit more than 160, with the vast majority in Congo and at least one in nearby Uganda. Possible cases have soared to at least 600. Officials warn the real numbers could be far higher, and it could be months before there's a usable vaccine for the outbreak's relatively rare strain. Africa's climate poses another roadblock.
Maybe in a hot and humid environment, you're able to stay and care for patients for half hour, 45 minutes at a time before you get too hot, dehydrated yourself, and people will have to leave.
This Toronto physician worked in West Africa during a massive Ebola outbreak in 2014. He says getting healthcare teams better protective equipment with built-in fans could help them reach more patients, but
it's really a race against time.
This Winnipeg microbiologist fears containing this outbreak won't be easy. After his own experience tackling Ebola in Liberia, he warns getting workers and supplies into remote areas can require days-long journeys.
The unfortunate reality is that we're not looking at a few weeks of this. I think it's certainly going to get a stretch out for longer than that period.
Officials in neighboring Uganda are now clamping down on travel. The country is suspending flights and ferries to Congo and tightening border controls. But it's not yet clear if these efforts will help slow the spread of this devastating outbreak. Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Toronto.
There's a look at another gorgeous day on the Lower Mainland. Plenty of blue sky. Darius will have your BC-wide weather forecast coming up shortly.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
Join me, Stephen Quinn, and the Early Edition team on May 28th at the Minaroo Center for a special live on-location broadcast. Come meet our new local Richmond journalists, Pinky Wong and Stephen Chua. And on May 31st, CBC's Margaret Gallagher hosts the Explore Asian Closing Award Ceremony. Join us to celebrate outstanding Asian community artists. Tickets at exploreasian.ca.
Darius Madavi's here with the BC-wide weather forecast, and looking pretty nice, at least heading into the weekend.
That's right. For the next couple days, we've got lots more sunshine across BC. As we get into the end of the weekend, that's when we start to see a pattern shift. So the ridge of high pressure still keeping us generally pretty sunny. Generally in the south, at least a couple degrees above normal. But as we get into late weekend, Sunday into Monday, we're going to see this low pressure system sweep across BC. It's going to spread some showers and bring temperatures down. But even as early as next Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to see a new ridge build back in. Remains to be seen, though, how resilient that one will be. Temperatures, like I said, coming up a little bit in many places tomorrow. And then we see a little bit of a dip on Saturday here on the coast and in the northwest. Meanwhile, in the southern interior, temperatures remain high in the mid-20s probably, maybe not quite the high 20s. And then temperatures continue to fall. And by Sunday, it's really just the southeast that's still seeing temperatures up past that 20-degree mark. In terms of precipitation, pretty dry over the next day or two. And then as we get into late Saturday and then Sunday, that's when we start to see that next system roll in. A few showers, a little bit of an impulse of rain will cross the north as we get into Saturday. But beyond that, in the south, it's really not until Sunday night we start to see that precipitation move across, even here on the coast and for Vancouver Island. Not until the evening I would expect to see that rain. Maybe for the North Island, west coast of the island, you see a few showers pop up in the afternoon. Fire danger is climbing across BC, though. That is definitely something to note. You'll notice in the south, fire danger has come up to moderate to high in many places. Not surprising given the ongoing drought situation. Hopefully we'll see some rain in some of those areas as we get into the weekend. That should help bring that fire danger back down, but probably won't be too significant, those rainfall totals. Good decent amount of sunshine still tomorrow. Enjoy it while it's here. And here's our 5-day forecast, Dan. Inland temperature is quite high tomorrow. Then that dip comes late in the weekend.
Okay. Darius, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us at CBC Vancouver News. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube, and of course our website, cbc.ca/BC. Good night.